There is somebody in this whole conversation that takes money from USAID.
Oh, yeah, and that's Elon.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing is just...
Scratching chin emoji.
Every accusation is a confession, or we're just in 1984. You can use whatever cliche you want.
The gang at the Bulwark, which you can find here on YouTube, the channel is called the Bulwark, discuss Elon Musk, his 200 tweets, his ketamine usage, and his economic coup of the American government. I'm going to have some opinions as we go. I'm doing here. And then I want to know what you think in the comments, but let's check this out together.
Would you like to tell the people about your little having to come out and put Elon Musk back in his place?
I mean, I'm not sure we got anybody back in their place, but I got to tell you, this guy has a lot of energy. Does ketamine give you energy?
No, it's a downer. It's a downer.
Okay, is that right? Because he somehow is managing to dismantle multiple parts of our government, but also tweet totally made up conspiracy theories about Bill Kristol, and to a lesser degree me, even though it's actually not really Bill. I don't know. I'm like, but let me just...
Do you know how many, just for a quick fun fact, do you know how many tweets he's tweeted in the last 24 hours? Any guess?
No, tell me.
Over 200.
So, like, who is it just these 7 kids that are dismantling the government while he's tweeting?
I think he's multitasking. Sometimes I tweet while I pod. Keep an eye out for that. If you look at the timestamps, you might catch it. You'll know when I'm getting bored by.
You have to understand, he's not actually doing anything else. Like the dismantling of the government isn't a high intensity job. You just tell people go in there and smash shit. Yeah. Like
that's true. I mean, I guess you just write one
creating
post.
Cold fusion. Yeah.
You can write one post that you just copy and paste from the time you did it at Twitter.
Right.
That's like, your services are no longer required. We're shutting you down. I guess you're right. It's maybe not that labor intensive. But yeah. I the other day, I like caught wind of this, and honestly, it had been going on. Like, MAGA Twitter is such, even though now MAGA is basically all of Twitter, it's still the real like circles of conspiratorial machinations I'm still slightly isolated from. And so I think somebody flagged it for me that somebody had put together this, like, you know that meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia where the guy is all the yarn and it's like all the things are connected and he's like smoking and losing his mind. And somebody had put together one of these charts that somehow had been like, USAID gave money one time to, I believe, the Rockefeller Foundation, who then at some point in the past had given a grant to something called the Hopewell Fund. And an organization that Bill and I work on had received money from the Hopewell Foundation. Now, I know exactly where that money came from. Like, I know, okay? So it is a pooled fund. So, like,
I assume Alex Soros and the deep state at USAID and a few and maybe some Ugandan children. Did you take the money from some Ugandan children?
Don't forget, the trans mafia.
No, like,
it was from Frazzle Drip. All this money came from Frazzle Drip.
No. Groups of donors who pooled a fund for democracy-related purposes, right? Has nothing to do with these other places. Granted money to us and for a project we were working on. Okay, so cool. But the idea that because USAID gave money to the Rockefeller Foundation or something, and that they, like, at some point had given money to this other place, that meant Bill was taking money from USAID.
Millions.
It's like not even close to being true. But here's what's interesting about it. Is that Elon is currently dismantling a government that he clearly has zero idea of how it works. But like all of these people, and actually to be fair, it's like other weirdos posting these like made up things that are like charts and it goes here. Actually, one of the charts had where the money actually went then. Like, it was to some organizations that we were granting to. It's like the money clearly didn't go to Bill Kristol. Like, actually, it was sort of solved in the first thing, but there's a whole bunch of gibberish out there. But Elon was like, so somebody was like, Bill Kristol is taking money from USAID, and Elon's like, not anymore. I'm like, what are you even talking about? And then he was doing things like responding to people with the scratching chin emoji, like, interesting. All of these charts connecting all of these things.
What's really flabbergasting to me is that these conspiracy theorists see the corruption everywhere, right? There's hydrogen in the water. But they're pro the most corrupt, right? I mean, they're not even trying to hide it on the right and in the Trump administration. He put out a garbage meme coin, right? I mean, he's got billionaires. You don't see it. It's right in front of your face. But no, look, we've pieced it all together.
But what was funny about today, so I responded, usually I let this stuff go, right? Because like there's so much dumb stuff out there, like Piero Midyar funds the Bulwark. No, he doesn't. Never did. Like, not a thing, right? People just make this stuff up on Twitter, and at some point people would like decide it's true, and it's like, do you run this all down? And do you try to explain, like right now in my comments, because I wrote this piece being like, here's actually works. This is not true. It's a complete lie. It's a completely made up. And I've got all these people in my replies being like, well, show me the receipts. And I'm like, for what? A transaction that didn't occur? What receipts do you want for me to demonstrate that this is like made up and a lie? There's no receipts. It's not a thing. It's not real. But it has like 40,000 likes or shares or something on Twitter by people who are like, Bill Kristol should be locked up in the gulag for taking taxpayer money. And I'm just like, this is how this is going to go. I guess it's just going to be completely made up nonsense. I thought it would take them longer to kind of come for us, actually. Like, I knew anybody who's critical of them, they would come for, but like, it feels like it happened. I mean, I don't know. It's only been 2 weeks and like, they got a lot of government to dismantle.
Can I just throw one wrinkle? You left, there's a lot there. I would just like to make one very brief point, and you can keep explaining. There is somebody in this whole conversation that takes money from USAID.
Oh yeah, and that's Elon
Musk.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing is just
Scratching chin emoji.
Every accusation is a confession, or we're just in 1984. You can use whatever cliche you want, but like it's all just it's just like a bunch of freaks on the internet like shouting Bill Kristol with the extra parentheses, around it, to denote that he's Jewish, is like taking money. Bill Kristol's taking money. We've got to stop it. But it's like, well, no, Elon has been the one that's taking government money, actually. A lot of government money. And now he's in charge of the money. So like, if you're going to be Charlie with the yarn on the wall, I'd probably be monitoring where the person who now has read-only access to the Treasury Department, where that money is going with regards to him and his competitors. It might be something.
We're going to get to read-only at some point, but that is a thing for which I would like to see some receipts, actually. Okay. Like just some claims of, don't worry, he only has read-only access. Really? I'd like to see the screenshot from the admin dashboard showing what Elon, that's all I want. Every one of these things has an admin dashboard where you can see the permissions for all of the users. I would like to see the screenshot of that.
Then it wouldn't matter. I mean, that's something that can be changed with it. The point is, if you have that kind of access, you have the power to change. It's handed out to people. Oh, well, as long as there's some sort of a limit on it. There's no limit. Once you're in the admin dashboard of a system like that, it's a flick of the switch. They're inside the house. These are crazy days, folks. Crazy days. Oh, let me know what you think in the comments.